Day 6 of massive protests that continue to paralyze the city. Demonstrators still angry at President Emmanuel Macron's plan to overhaul the country's pension system. And our Maggie Rulli is right there right now. Maggie, if you can just give us an idea of how things are heating up where you are.
You know, Kim, you can probably hear some of the action happening behind me, see some of it as well. We're at the end of where today's protests are finishing off. You can see some protesters climbing the statue just behind me. You can hear some loud shouts going off, even flash bombs in places. But for the most part, Kimberly, while there is a large police presence, it's remained very peaceful with thousands of people here. There's actually even some people sort of selling food, street vendors, there's been music playing. So while there are these pockets of some protesters that are turning violent, there are a lot of people out here that they want to see change, and they're trying to protest to do that.
Yeah, so can you just give us an idea of who actually is making up this crowd and what kind of change do they want to see?
Well, Kimberly, that's what's been so fascinating because behind me, there are nearly 42 different union groups all represented. That's people like rail workers. We saw a group of opera singers who are on strike out protesting today. There are so many different types of people. The teachers union is out here in full force as well. And they're all demanding that their pension are taken seriously. Right now, the government is threatening a pension reform in this country that could potentially raise the age that people are eligible for full benefits. Well, many of these people say that's unfair. That means working more for less money. And in fact, the teachers union in particular is very passionate. We walked into the protest with them today. We walked with one teacher, an English teacher who teaches here in Paris. He was very passionate, like so many of the protesters here. I want you just to take a quick listen into what he had to say.
What is at stake is huge for us. I mean, it's huge for state workers, it's huge for teachers, and it's also very big for private sector employees. The big question is how will we live after our working days? I mean, we don't make a lot of money as teachers, and you know that in France we pay quite a lot of taxes, and we pay taxes to have social security, but we also pay taxes to have pensions. So we're making less money, and we will make less money because our pension will be diminished. That's completely unfair and completely impossible to understand.
What do you think of Macron?
Well, it's disappointing everybody. A lot of people voted for him, and well, a lot of people felt left down.
Reverend, we asked him about Macron. That's the French president here, and many people singing protest songs against him. What's interesting is many people are blaming the government saying they have to do this, they have to reform pensions, the government's in debt. But for most of these protesters, they say that's not enough. They still need to figure out how they're going to survive if they don't have their pensions. So it's definitely a heated scene here, Kimberly.
Yeah, and do you see any sign from the people that the pressure on the government is working in any way?
Oh, that's what's so interesting. You know, we spoke with one of those teachers as well, one of his colleagues, and I asked her, do you feel like you've been heard? And she simply said no. Even with all of these protests, like you said, more than 6 days of protests that are loud, they are getting media attention, she still feels like she's not being heard. She doesn't have much hope for what the government's going to do with their pensions, but she said that she plans to keep coming out here and protesting. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any traction. You know, the unions also have the support of the Yellow Vests, which are almost now a famous protest group here in France, and they actually have had some traction with the government. So they are hoping that by teaming up with the Yellow Vest here throughout France, that maybe they'll see some type of progress. But at this point, it's still anyone's guess what's going to happen.
Yes, well, definitely happy to hear that they are peaceful at least. Maggie Rulli right there on the ground in Paris. Thank you for the updates.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.